you Oh, hello. This is not wanting to pick up my controller for some reason. I think it's because I was using the Switch Pro-Con earlier. Let me restart Steam. I'm just chilling. I'm just playing some games for bed. No goal. No goal in mind. I just feel like playing for a bit. Oh. It's not taking the controller. There we go. Yeah. Just need to restart Steam. Game looks so beautiful. 120 FPS. Good stuff. Nice and smooth. Especially after all that Age of Calamity I played today. You're gonna soft lock, huh? We're in a soft lock mood today. Yep, soft locked. That's just great. It sucks. At least it did it early on. Now the game is capped at 60, but I went into the engine and made it run at 120. It's just like not working today. Not like just playing this, but it doesn't want to work right now. It keeps soft locking. think it's working now. Soft lock. Soft lock. I never get tired of this game. This is like a infinite replay value game for me. I just turn this on and just play it. I always feel better. I need to do another extreme mode playthrough at some point, but I don't have the energy for it right now. I just feel like playing Blade Palace. Game is a masterpiece. Better than a lot of other attempts to make this kind of game, that's for sure. I like this game better than DMC5 in some ways. Obviously not like how it looks. This game is not... It's not a pretty game. I like how this game plays. I think it does the multiple character thing a lot better than DMC5 does. Also because there's both characters are fun to play. You can tag. This is like one of the only character action games where you can tag. And I was the one that fought for that to be an unlockable too. Like it's partially in the game because of me. So I was a beta tester on this a couple years back. Still in early access. How long does it take to close Disneyland? It must take hours, right? Like, how does that even work? Because Disneyland is essentially like a bunch of small to medium-sized stores, but like dozens of them. How does that even work? Like, when do you get the clock out? Is it just been whatever part you're in? No, it's not like a normal restaurant. Like tons of stuff going on there, not just food. Oh yeah, that makes sense then. You have time to close and clock out and everything. Well, that's how it should be. Most places treat their employees like garbage. Pay them nothing when they make millions. Clearly they can afford to pay the people that make them all that damn money. They just don't want to do it. You know, the job market's all fucked up right now. And people are just happy to have a job that's consistent. Instead of lining the CEO's pockets so they can buy an 8th vacation home. Support the people who actually work hard every day and do something. Like when people try to say like being like a fry cook or whatever is not a real job. Like, dude, those people work their asses off. And they deal with the scum of society every day doing it. And they get paid like barely minimum wage. The audacity of some people. A job is a job. Oh, okay. Well, still, what I said is true. I know it was a big deal to raise minimum wage here in California. I'm sure you know about that too. The cost of living is so high. And companies are like, nah, we're gonna keep paying you peasant's wage. Working yourself to the bone like every day. I think that's the case. I think that the companies can afford. I mean, big companies like Disney, yes, they're like one of the richest companies in the world. They can afford to pay more. It's one thing if it's like a locally owned place. There's a lot more that has to go into raising prices and stuff, including raising prices of whatever you sell. But like large companies shouldn't be such dickwads to the people who actually make them all that money. Locally owned that's a completely different story. Like, people that work for corporations and shit. I don't know if you guys heard this, but Metroid Dread is developed by Mercury Steam. And like, Mercury Steam only put you in the credits if you worked on the game for more than a year. So like the credits of that game aren't even accurate. So you know, some people are contractors or whatever, or they finished whatever their task was on the game, the sound or the art, the level design or whatever. They're not crediting those people. Now it's coming out that the working conditions there are pretty bad. Fuck you. Credit me. Especially on a video game where there's like so much crunch. So much crunch time and stuff. You should credit people regardless of how long or short they worked on it. I'm in Central California, Bakersfield. The butthole of Cali. The sweaty butthole of California, that's where I am. I've been in a lot of parts of Cali. Been in San Jose, Ventura, and now Bakersfield. More referring to the people that are here. And also the air quality is horrendous here. Actually, I've been in Sunnyvale too. I used to go to Wednesday Night Fights. I went there a couple times. Back when it was at the, what's that place called? The Esports Lounge? I went there a couple times. The problem is that Bakersfield is really close to LA, but the traffic is horrendous. Traffic is horrendous. And Wednesday Night Fights would always stop at like 4 in the morning. My friend that I would go with, you know, he has a wife and kids and shit, so he can't be coming back at like 5 a.m. I only went there a couple times. I honestly think it's a pretty shitty tournament. I think their reasoning was like, well, people can't get off work. It's like, well, most people can't like get back home at like freaking 4 in the morning. like, like, why don't you start it earlier? Most normal people who like actually contribute to society can't like come back at 4 a.m. every week for a tournament where maybe you make like $200 if you win, you get like first place. Lots of awesome people there. You know, people are like open to play more than just the popular games. That part of it was awesome, but like, I don't know why they start and end at like ass o'clock. Honestly, I think it's a blessing in disguise that the tournament is online now, post-pandemic. Just like play your match and do whatever else you gotta do, your homework or your chores or whatever else, and just go to bed. There's no commute. It's like actually getting there on time, that you're stuck in traffic. I actually don't live that far from there. It's not that far of a drive. Traffic is terror bad. They're open again, really. Well, guess where I'm not going. Because the only fighting game I play right now has, like, perfect netcode. And no reason to go there. I'm not, like, friends with any of the people that go there either, so I don't have that physical aspect of hanging out with people. I'm sure I could make friends there, but I don't drive, so... What's nice about being a grid player. You don't have to go to tournaments. You can just play them online. Play them in your pajamas, all sweaty and tired. Just play your matches and go to bed. Like, there's no need for a commute, just the netcode actually works. Very few fighting games offer you that luxury. Smash sure as hell does it. Street Fighter does it. Tekken does it. King of Fighters, nope. Dragon Ball Fighters, nope. Like, you can do that with like Grid and Skullgirls and Strive. Killer Instincts, those are like the main ones. That's a nice atmosphere there, yeah. It's just a nightmare to go there. But we have local weeklies here in town at the new game center that opened a couple months ago. A lot of the Dragon Ball kids are getting into Grid, so hopefully I can attend some of the tournaments. I guess they got tired of shit netcode that only took them like 3.5 years. Play a fighting game that actually works online. I tried to get them into that game, they just wouldn't play it. Some of them are like, well, one person was like, oh, the game looks ugly. Like, well, enjoy your beautiful Dragon Ball Fighters that plays like it's underwater. I really wanted to like that game. Main problems I had with it was the pacing of the netcode. I think the pacing has mostly been fixed. I haven't watched much of the new season. I don't know what the consensus is of the new season. Game over. I don't know, take it from me, like, only take YouTube seriously if A, you have a backup, and B, you treat it like a hobby. Even getting to the point I am where, you know, I make like maybe $200 off this channel a month, which is like not even minimum wage. It takes a lot to get to that point. Biggest mistake people make is they go into it expecting to make like, you know, more than they would at a normal job. Yes, there is the opportunity to do it, but you have a better chance of winning the lottery. Or at the very least, you need a very consistent backup. You need something to work with. Well, yeah, well, if you didn't monetize, then why does it matter? It doesn't matter. If you don't monetize, then yeah. I don't know, it's just people. I think all those videos that tell you how to get popular and stuff on here, they're bullshit. I'm sure there's some truth in them, like, you know, what components to buy and stuff, but a lot of it really is just luck. It's something that people don't want to admit, but a lot of it is luck. It's just like a lot of other things in life. A lot of it really is just luck. How much time and money you put into it. I mean, of course it has an effect. How much effort you put into it as well, but a lot of it is just getting lucky. The thing people don't realize is that if you try to go viral, it's not going to happen. Most of the stuff that goes viral just happens randomly. There's no, like, thought or strategy into it. And that shit can change your life for better or for worse. But you can't just go into it expecting it to happen. And the less of an investment you spend trying to get to that point, the better. Yeah, I saw the cats. I forgot to respond. No, I just cringe when I see people, they post like, oh, I spent like 3 grand on a computer. I spent like 3 grand on a computer, and it's like, you're not gonna make that money back. Full stop. At least not by the time you're still like not in retirement age. You're not gonna make that money back. It's not even a good long-term investment. You need to start with nothing. I started this with nothing. I had literally nothing. I had a hand-me-down computer from my mom. I had a DVD recorder that my friend bought me, and I had like a PS2 and some emulated games. That's all I had. I had nothing. I did not do what the kids do now, where it's like they get their trust fund parents to buy them like a $4,000 computer. Like, it's not gonna happen. I feel like sometimes people view negativity as realism as negativity. It's like in this industry, it's realistic to be negative in some ways. Oh, a lot of people are doing that now. They're buying like crazy computers and stuff, and it's like, dude, that just makes me cringe. As somebody who started with nothing and still does not have much. I think people forget that there's like Grand Theft Auto Online and NBA players, streamers that stream off the PS4. PS4 has shit video quality, the audio quality is bad, and the camera is like a tiny square in the upper right hand corner of the screen. And those people are making crazy money. Like, I don't know how or why. I mean, they don't really have the things that you really require to be like a high end stream, but they do it somehow. I don't know how. Like, those guys started with and still have nothing, and maybe they upgrade later on. It's like Iron Man. Iron Man made that suit while he was trapped in those movies. Like, you can make something out of nothing. When you try to make something, at least in this business, you try to make something out of a lot of money. Unless you've got some kind of backing, people that can promote your stream or something. It's better to go gradual. You definitely can like start with the PS4. You could start with like PS4 or Xbox streaming and get by. You just have to upgrade gradually. Like, all right, I'm making like $100 off this a month. Maybe now I can get a decent streaming computer. At least you'll be making the money back within less than a year. But you can't spend that much at the start. I think the Twitch leak was eye opening for a lot of people because like basically barely anybody on Twitch, at least like going by consistent, reliable income, which is on Twitch pretty much solely subscriptions and bit donations. Uh, Barely anybody's making minimum wage. Like the top 1% on Twitch is actually the top 0.1%, tenth of a percent. No, I think people are taking those numbers at face value because donations are a lot. Some people won't subscribe to you on Twitch because if you want to directly support somebody on Twitch, it's better to just send them money directly because Twitch takes half of every sub. Um, Unless you're a really high end streamer, I know there's like an extra contract you can get that will allow them to take less of a cut. But even looking at those numbers from that Twitch leak, it tells you like barely anybody's making off like Twitch sanctioned revenue, meaning bits and subscribers. Like barely anybody's making anything on there. That's why I gave up on that site. No, that's not true. I I follow somebody. He's a top 3,000 streamer according to that leak. And that's not even counting the donations he gets. He gets a lot of donations. Um, it's mostly small donations because he has TTS on. He's top 3,000 and he plays like maybe 6 new games a year. Very few. And when he does play new games, it's not like, whatever the flavor of the month is. It's like mostly indies and stuff. The thing is like a lot of people avoid those big streams because there's no sense of community. It's just the chat room is scrolling so high, it's scrolling so fast, and people at that level they can't really converse with people. When you have like more than like maybe 3,000 people in your chat, like you can't you can't converse with anybody in particular. You can look at like the subject that people are mentioning and you can try to move the conversation, but you can't interact with people anymore. And it gets a lot harder. Streaming is weird. I've talked about this before, but like when you start, you have nobody to talk to. When you start, you have nobody to talk to because no one's watching, or at best, you have people that are lurking that they have you on while they're working or something. They don't really want to talk for whatever reason, which is fine. And then you get to the part where you actually can talk a lot because you have like at least 10, 5 to 10 viewers watching you every time, which is kind of the point that I'm at. But then once you get to like a big time streamer, all those chances of relationships and stuff, they're just gone. It must actually be really miserable streaming at that level. I mean, the pay is great, but a lot of the fun of streaming is actually talking to people and making friends and stuff. All that just goes out the window when you're at that level. I don't know if you've ever been in like those big ass streams, like the Fortnite streams and stuff. You can't talk to anybody. The chat is scrolling so fast. Even when they have it on like slow mode or sub mode, there's just too many people in there. You can't like. It's like being in like the middle of like Disneyland and like trying to talk to like random people. There's so many people there. Whereas if you're at like a little small like local event like the ones that they have here, it's like actually feasible to like talk to strangers and stuff and maybe try to be friends or at least be nice to them. But when you're just in a swarm of people, that kind of doesn't work anymore. That's kind of how streaming is. Well, think about the retro community is it's mostly older people. Um, those people have gotten all the troll behavior and shit out of their system like a decade ago or more. It's always been that way. But when you're playing whatever the flavor of the month is and it's mostly kids watching and it's like unmoderated and the chat is moving too fast, then yeah, it's not going to be a good experience. I mean, even people who consider the PS2 and like Game Boy Advance to be retro, they have to be like mid 20s minimum right now. So that's like the age where you start to grow up on the internet and you stop acting out. The other problem is that uh, this is a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people, but not everybody deserves to be famous. And I think the fact that we've had so many of these big channels and stuff be outed as like legit terrible people I think that proves what my point of what I'm saying is here. Everybody wants to be famous, but not everybody is actually capable of handling it. There are people who definitely deserve to be famous who could handle that fame and use that money and that reach to actually make the world a better place. And there are plenty of people that do that, but then you have, all the stuff in the Smash community and stuff, and uh, all the other people that have been outed to be terrible people for a variety of reasons. Like, not everybody should be famous. And in the age of trying to go viral and stuff, I think people tend to forget that, but that's the reality of it. There definitely are people that are rich on the internet. They're self-employed and stuff, and they do a lot of good for our planet. But there's lots of people that are just greedy assholes, or they're toxic for whatever reason. They're toxic to their family or other people in their lives and stuff. They don't deserve it. But that's something that nobody wants to hear. But that's the truth. I definitely know of a lot of people who would deserve to be famous. I know that they would be able to handle it well, but the internet has made people famous that never should have done that, never should have had that opportunity. And I think the last year or so has been very eye-opening. People are starting to wake up to that. It just bothers me when people donate to like millionaires and shit. I'm like, dude, they don't even know your name. They don't remember you. I'm sure they're thankful for the support they're getting, but you're not going to have any kind of relationship with them, be it personal or romantic or even like an acquaintance. Like, if you have disposable income, you should support people who are small. And I'm not saying just me, I'm saying in general. Like, if your friends are trying to start doing this, support them. Help them get equipment. Like, donate to a homeless shelter or something. Adopt a cat or a dog at a shelter. Like, that's where your money should go. Stop giving it to millionaires. I mean, in the way our society works, I mean, you can't avoid doing that, but for people that do stuff on the internet, like, you should give your money to people who actually will appreciate it more and can get more use out of it. And people who are already well off, and honestly, I think most of them, unless they're really irresponsible, probably don't really have to work much more in their lives. I think they're set, but you never know what people's situations are behind the scenes. I think I'll do another run of this, and I'm gonna go to bed. It's getting late. No, you're not delaying anything. I'm just tired. I talk more when I'm tired. I had a very active day today. I go get groceries for my neighbor, then I picked up lunch earlier in the day. A very active day today. Like, I still run this channel on a shoestring budget. It's just... I am at the point where I can make investments and stuff. Like, I bought my capture card last year, my new one. That thing is really good. There's only one problem with it, which is just kind of a nuisance. My recording software doesn't pick up the sound. I have to change it manually. But that thing is great. USB 3, 1080p 60, which in my opinion is about as far as you need to go doing this kind of thing. I cringe when I see people post like a 4K and they're playing like a Switch game. I'm like, dude, the Switch can barely render that game at 720p. Like, but it gets stupid people to click on it. Like, dude, you don't need to render that in 4K. Also, especially like the past 10 years, it's kind of a waste to do that because most people watch YouTube videos. At least people who upload consistently like I do. I stream or upload, or sometimes both, every day around midnight. Most people are going to be watching on like their lunch breaks or their commutes, which means they're on their phones and they don't have access to Wi-Fi. So I don't get why people click on 4K videos. It doesn't make the video any better. Like, the only people that are going to do that are people that watch YouTube at home on, like, gigantic screens, like home theaters and stuff. Which is such a small percentage of the people that watch. It doesn't matter what kind of content you're into, gaming or whatever. Non-gaming. That's why I just do 1080p 60. I have the capability of recording higher than that, but there's no point. It also bothers me when they upload, like, console gameplay and they don't have it running at 60 FPS, especially for Switch games. It's like the Switch is such a crapshoot to buy games for. It doesn't matter how well the game fits for, like, you know, being portable and stuff. A lot of the ports are really bad, the games run like shit. Then the video will be in 4K. I'm like, alright, well, I can't tell how well this game runs, but it's in 4K. The Switch can barely render 1080p most of the time. It's very useful. But people click on that stuff, so can't front people for accommodating it. I just think it's dumb. Somebody's been doing this for so long. Watching YouTube at 4K, that's for people who, like, very heavy, like, TV and movie watchers. They have, like, home theaters and stuff. You know, they watch, like, Disney Plus. They watch, like, Disney Plus and Netflix on, like, 40-inch screens and shit. But if you're watching somebody like me that's consistent, regardless of whatever their kind of content is, gaming like mine or other stuff. Like, most people are watching on their phones. You know, they'll pull up their video while they're at work, or depending on whatever they do for a job. You know, maybe they do it while they're working, on lunch. And you'd be stupid to blow your data watching a 4K video of some kid doing a frag montage on Call of Duty. Like, that's just gonna jack up your bill really fast. Most people are just gonna watch the minimum quality, minimum of like what's watchable. What's this? were some PS2 games that did 720p, yes. Problem is that once the HD consoles came around, they started obsessing over graphics. At the expense of performance, I mean, which is still happening to this day. I think this next generation is going to be good for video games in general, because the hardware is not going to be such a bottleneck anymore. I actually think the PS4, like, last gen was, like, the worst gen for me in some ways. Because we started, like, trying to do things with games that the hardware just can't handle. The games run like shit, they look bad, they're laggy, they take forever to load. And, like, I'd rather have, like, something like this. That runs really smoothly, it's fluid, there's no problems with it. I'd rather have that. When people are finally starting to wake up, I think, like, the last couple big games running like garbage on PS4 and having, like, 8-hour-long load times, people are starting to wake up. Like, the way the game looked is not everything. How it performs and how it plays is more important. Like that Grand Theft Auto remaster that came out that's, like, worse than the fan versions that they shut down. I've been watching videos of those remasters. Look like they got, like, the worst porting studio to do them. Like, I understand they're probably busy working on new games at Rockstar, but, like, dude, those games made, like, millions of dollars. Millions. They're some of the most, like, culturally important games from that era. But you get, like, some no-name porting studio to do it, they do a shit job. And now those games are memes. And now they're memes. I don't really have any emotional attachment to those games, but I'm not gonna say that those games don't deserve better. That's the problem with them wanting to remaster everything. A lot of times they do a shit job. The thing these companies don't understand is the only way you're going to beat piracy is by making things affordable. And with remasters, like, the remaster has to be better than what the fans have been doing for, like, a decade. And when you don't do that, then you fail. You have to give it so that, you know, it's better than what the fans can provide. And when you don't do that, people are just gonna go back to the old version. A good example is the Castlevania Advance Collection that just came out, like, last month. Like, that is the best way to play those games. Hands down. Outside of, like, randomizer mods and stuff, like, you still need to use an emulator for those, but like, just playing those games casually, like, there's no reason to use the emulator anymore. Like, there's no reason to go download those games off the internet. Like, that's worth $20. He actually respected the legacy of those really influential games, and he made something better than what the fans can make because you have access to the source code. But when you don't do that, you get, like, the Grand Theft Auto remaster, and Sonic Colors remaster that were shit. Mega Man Zero Collection. That's worth 20 bucks too. That is like legit the best way to play those games. To the point where even the speedrunners use them. But it's hard to find ports and remasters that are that good. Most of them are worse than just downloading the ROM, which I think is dumb because they complain about piracy so much. Like, most people are not malicious with like wanting to pirate shit. It's just that you don't make it available to buy legally. When you do a shit job, like the Grand Theft Auto ports. They took down all the old ports for those, and they're like, from what I've seen, as somebody who didn't really play those games much, and I don't have any nostalgia for them, it's way worse. You took down the good version, you remastered it, and you took a dump over it, and you're selling it for $60. Yeah, that also happened this month too with the N64 on Switch. It has like horrendous input lag. You really are better just pirating the ROMs. Regardless of what your moral standing is on doing that kind of thing, like, don't give them money for doing a shit job. They're the richest company in Japan. They're not going to go broke because you downloaded a ROM of Ocarina of Time or Star Fox 64. It's not like pirating something like this, which is made by a small team. You know, they don't have a lot of money. No. Say the same for Namco too with the Tales games. Okay, so Tales of Arise, whether you like it or not, the game sold millions of copies, but you can't play the other games. Like, they're not available legally at all. Like, you can't play those games. I really think that like leading up to Arise, they should have had a lot more of them available. You see a lot of people, you know, playing that's like their first Tales game, which I don't think is a very good first Tales game because it's the only one that plays like that. But like, they're wondering like, where do I get the other ones? It's like, well, okay, here's the deal. Most of them are Japanese only, and even the ones that aren't are not on PC. So you have to go get an old-ass console to play these, which is more effort than should be necessary. Especially when you consider their competitors, Final Fantasy and Ys and stuff. You can play the entire Ys series on Steam, like, right now. Play the entire Final Fantasy series. But then with Tales, you have such a small selection of games. Hey, what's up, A-Dog? Ooh, air dash, hell yeah. Nice. Got mobility, you just need damage. Damage and health. No, that's what everybody does. That's what everybody does. They buy like 800 Steam games and don't play them. I've just gotten to the point where I have like almost everything I like on Steam, so Steam sales, it's rare for me to spend more than like $30, $40. And it's usually just stuff I probably wouldn't buy normally, but it's cheap enough and I'm bored enough. I've kind of played through a lot of my other stuff that I'm willing to give it a shot. The only reason I have such a big Steam library is because I've been on there for like 13 years. Been on there for a long time. So review keys and bundles and shit. That's what really inflates it. Like I have the Apogee 3D Realms bundle. That thing inflated my library by like 50 games or some shit. People get a little bit too obsessive over their backlogs on Steam, like, really don't need to worry about it so much. Either play the game or don't. It's not really a big deal. It's only a big deal if you're buying all those games at base price, like, full $60, and you're not playing them. But, like, if you paid, like, nothing for them, like, I don't see the problem. Like, it's supposed to be something you're doing for fun anyway. It feels like a chore to play all those games and just don't play them. But yeah, if you buy, like, every game at $60 and you don't even install it, then yeah, you have a serious problem. But I feel like most people, when you buy them on sale, it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, people get drunk, go to parties and shit, and don't remember any of it. I don't think buying a bunch of games on the Steam sale when you're like barely functional is really that big of a deal. Have I done any Steam Workshop? No. Downloading them, yes. Making them, no. Getting a game on launch day these days is, paying to be a beta tester. Nothing wrong with waiting. Unless it's like a competitive game, which yeah, you kinda need to have it at launch, but these days you get a much worse experience for paying for a game full price. Things have changed. Ultra H, yeah, I need to play that more. The Switch, it was on PC. I hate the PS4. Alright, let's see how clean I can do this level. Got the speed and the mobility. Go fast. Damn it. Bad gameplay. There we go. may have a bad level, not playing very well. You speedrun? Yeah, I speedrun casually. I do a couple speedruns, but I don't care about records and shit. It's just like getting more out of games I've played a lot. I like speedrunning this game, but it's not done yet. Because I really like the movement in this game, how fast you can go. Just like I like the first game. I played the first game for like about 150 hours. That was a good run. Not super fun, but good enough. Most of my time. 25. 25's not bad. Especially now that there's a whole extra level. It's gonna be a lot harder to get lower than that time. I think I got a 22 earlier today. Let's see, do I want to do one more game? Yeah. Check something here really quick. It's already like 2 in the morning. I think I should probably go to bed so I can stream later. Looks like I've got a couple comfy streams to watch. That's good. Well, some games have good trophies, but most of them have terrible trophies where it's just playing the game in weird ways or grinding. I'm usually I don't really care for achievements much. There are some games I have maxed out, but they had very civilized achievements. None of this beat the game 18 times or do this move like 3,000 times. Like none of that shit. None of that shit. But if it's like, you know, just play the game and play it to completion or play the game at a high skill level, like that stuff I'll do. But anything that's like you need to do this 18 trillion times, I'm like, nah, man, I'm out. I've already done everything that requires skill in the game. At that point, you're just trying to keep me playing it longer. There definitely are games I've played like more than long enough to get the all the achievements, but I just don't care because it doesn't mean anything to me. I know I'm good enough at the game as it is. I know I'm pretty good at games in general. I don't need some achievement telling me I did this 18,000 times to reinforce that. But that's what most achievements bog down to. Maybe like half of them actually require skill, and then the rest is just grinding. But it's not fun grinding. It's like, you know, shit that you have to keep doing repeatedly. It's like you've already beaten the game on the hardest difficulty, but look, you didn't find 900 trinkets, or you didn't jump 18 trillion times. It's like you don't have all the achievements. I'm like, fuck you. You already did everything that requires skill in the game. Like, I might still keep playing it because I like it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to do that. I don't have any reason to, because it's not fun. They released a Valor Form moveset for Kingdom Hearts. Really? Let me look into that. Well, this looks pretty cool. Yeah, that's what most achievements are. It's like you've already done everything that requires skill in the game. You've solved the game. You've cleared all the content at the highest difficulty level. Clearly, you're pretty good at it, but no, you need to go find a bunch of useless shit or hump the wall like 18 billion times to get your platinum trophy. Like, nah, man, I'm out. Fuck that. I've got plenty of other games to play. Like, more likely that I'll just move on at that point. A good example of how bad achievements can be is Tales of Xillia 2, because in that game in Xillia 1 they tied the grade shop to the achievements, and like you could literally finish that game. You could finish it and get the true ending, but you'd have like barely any grade to play the game again. I actually did most of that stupid mindless shit, like revive your teammate like 400 times or whatever. I did all that shit, and I'll tell you what happened. By the time I did all that, I didn't want to play the game anymore because I had already cleared the game. I had already solved it. Like the game was solved. I cleared all relevant content in the game, but I need to go make my characters hump the wall and twerk for 18 hours before I can have fun playing the game again. Like, nah, man, I'm out. Fuck that. There's such a weird disconnect with like achievements between like what actually requires being good at the game and what just requires like having the patience of a saint for something that doesn't mean anything in like the context of your actual life outside of the game. I'm like, dude, I don't care how many gamer score you have. Yeah, the grade shop in Xillia 1 and Xillia 2 was the worst. Essentially, by the time that you could play the game again and have fun with the battle system, which was like the best part of that game by a large margin, you were tired of it because your characters need to go twerk in the corner for 40 hours to get the grade and stuff. I'm like, why don't you just reward me for like battling like before? That was so much better, even though it was still grindy, but it didn't take that long, and you were engaging with the part of the game that's actually fun, which is the battle system. Alright, I think I could do like maybe one more game, but I'm getting pretty tired. I'm just trying to figure out what I would feel like playing. It's about bedtime for me, and I've got some comfy streams to watch too, so let's see what I feel like playing. Mega Man Zero, yeah, I love those games.
With the power of snow.
2, 1, fight!
Epic stare down there. Almost killed there. Nice. Damn it. I think playing this at this hour was a mistake.
Slipstream, out of sight. Shall we dance?
Nice. That's pretty cool. Alright. This match is over.
Let chaos reign! Circuit breaker!
Forfeit time.
This is gonna hurt.
Never give up. You don't give up here. Keep fighting. I definitely could have won that, but I think playing this at 2:30 a.m. after a long day is
Power of magic.
not wise. I'll give this another match, and I'm just gonna call it a night. gameplay is just not there right now. Too tired. We'll do one more. No, I get the run back. Nice. Run back.
Sometimes the most important battle is the battle within.
Fight.
Nice, picked up. No one ever really plays her that much, so I don't know how to fight her.
Circuit storm.
I've got you covered. Circuit storm.
Sakura, strike. Circuit storm.
Oh, playing so bad. Yeah, I think it's time to go to bed, folks. I'm gonna pull up the white flag. I'm not playing very well tonight. I don't know what possessed me to play this so late when I'm so tired. I don't have the critical thinking to play this right now.
It's morphin' time!
Damn it. Fuck. How did I drop that, man? Did the Rekka too late.
Magical source, mystic force.
I'm embarrassed right now.
Phenomenal.
I might not kill. Oh, nice. Nice. Alright. We're gonna end the night on a high note. I brought it back.
That's how we do it. Cat Ranger
Nice.
style.
I knew they were gonna do jump S. So I landed the EX. I pretty much knew that that was gonna land. That's it for tonight, folks. I'm gonna go to bed. Should be playing more of the usual later today. Thanks for watching.